Okay everyone, I'm going to do a little demo here on how to get a general sense or how to see a molecule's three-dimensional nature, with the idea that you need a general sense of the three-dimensionality of different compounds, and for some assignments you actually need to build a three-dimensional model yourself. So for the sake of argument, I'm going to pick norepinephrine, noradrenaline in some cases, and so I'm going to do a Google search, which will probably pop this up right in here. And so now I'll zoom in and I'll grab images. Sorry, I just need to fix this. Great, okay. So then I'll say images, and what I'm looking for is something that is decidedly three-dimensional. And I notice that this is decidedly three-dimensional. So is this, so is this. And when I'm hovering over here, I'm looking and seeing that it says Wikipedia. And there are a lot of three-dimensional renderings, also known as views, renderings on Wikipedia. So I'll click here and then I'll visit the page, and I'm kind of hoping and I'm looking around for anything that looks kind of GIFy or GIF, and I notice this is a portable network graphics image, so in other words it's a static image. So there you go, I'm not going to find, so it's not going to spin or rotate or anything like that. So that's actually an interesting possibility. I'll come back up here and I'll say norepinephrine, and I'll say type, and I'll look for GIF, and I'll see what my refined search looks like. This might be a GIF here, so I'll visit this, and some of these, and I'm trying to just click and drag, and it won't actually rotate, which is a bit of a drag here. And but you know, that gives me this is a pretty good view actually. It kind of shows me the three-dimensional nature of the molecule. And if I combine this picture right here with, and let's go and do another Google search here. Google. Oh, alright, here we go. We'll do that, and if we combine the two, so we've got, and actually let me get rid of this GIF because that's going to give us pictures as opposed to these sorts of images. So if I flip back between these two, I can see that I've got a ring here with two OHs hanging off it. And if I go back to here, I can see that hexagon there, and I can see the two rings hanging off it here. And so this little triangle right in there, that presumably is this carbon right here. So it should be carbon, carbon, and then the amine. And I'm looking, so there's got to be a, oh, there it is, carbon, carbon, and then there's the amine, and there's the oxygen, and I'm looking right here and I'm seeing that that oxygen has a hydroxide. So there must be an H on the other side of this red ball here that we just can't see. So last thing, I guess, we might do 3D, see what comes up. That's pretty nice. And again, what I'm looking for is these sorts of pictures. Sometimes stuff like this will have rotatable images, and I'll click on this and it won't rotate, but I do notice that it'll do that, and that's pretty nice. So I can so that's actually very sweet even. So that's the 360 view right there. So, you know, a couple of clicks later I find myself a three-dimensional image of noradrenaline. And there you go. I can do exactly the same thing with any number of other compounds. It just takes a little bit of poking around before you find it. And again, insofar as poking around is concerned, it's usually these sorts of images on this screen that will rotate or be rotatable.